JT Smith of the TFON Podcast here for Season 4, Episode 10. And I'm here with my guy, my main man, my big brother, Dan Sellers. Dan, how you doing today, brother?
Man, I've had better days, man, better weeks, but just came from church, so I asked for forgiveness for what I'm about to say in the show. So we already got some credit.
Yeah. So our Lord is a forgiving Lord. You feel me? But I'm gonna go get right into it. We didn't talk last week. Busy schedules. You kind of making it happen late tonight, so I appreciate your time. Let me talk your head off for a little bit. But the Bearcats lost homecoming week against Iowa State, 30-10. I said homecoming week. I did not stutter. At Nipper Stadium. It's the fourth loss in a row. Third loss at Nipper Stadium this year. But from what I saw, this was a totally different loss compared to other ones because there was I'm a glass half full guy. Anybody that, no matter what, like I can see the positive in any situation. You ask me, no matter what. Do you have any positives from Saturday first? And then if you want to take the floor after that, go for it.
I saw no positives. I mean, other than I can say the defensive line, didn't quit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's a positive or not, but they did not quit, if you will. I thought pretty much everybody else did, including the coach. I thought the coach, they did just look ill-prepared, for this game, and I'm not sure why that was. You got a young quarterback that on Iowa State's team that doesn't have a whole lot of experience, and they made him look like Brock Purdy. You know what I mean? He just it just lit us up, and it's to me the difference between, and we were talking about before the show that the difference between Luke Fickell's first year and this guy's first year, and I'm seeing that on all the blogs, the UC blogs that I frequent, and that people are saying, "Oh, think about Luke Fickell. He did this, he did that," but it's different. I mean, Luke, you could tell Luke had everybody's attention, in that these kids were going to play for him. So it's a different situation. It's bad coaching. Now, is this guy going to turn the program around? I have no idea. I really hope he does. I wish him the best. I don't, I'm not hating on that dude at all. But what I'm not about to do is get excited about the rest of the season. I'm just going to, if we win a game, I would be happy for that. But what I'm not going to do is wake up on Saturday morning with the expectations of winning, because it's like he feels like this is not his team and he just adopted it. And this is what I think. This is what it seems like. I'm not saying this is actually what's going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Just going through the motions, trying to get to the off season so he can get his transfer portal guys in and whomever else he's recruiting. That's what it feels like. And I kind of hope that's the case now, because if it's not, he just flat ass can't coach, because he's calling plays that this quarterback is incapable of performing. And I'm not saying that he's not cerebral enough or anything like that, but the plays in the position, and he started out the game really well, moving this guy out of the pocket. Even the announcer said that. And he went right back to the Fran Tarkenton, 5-step drop back. And it's just mind-boggling. And then the defenses that they're lining up in. Is Curry Combs the defensive coordinator already? Because this looks like Colerain High School against Iowa State. It just, I don't, so just, I don't, to say, to get all this off my chest, I just think that I'm going to take the stance and I'm on a hope because he's going to be here next year too, that he's got some great plan during the off season to turn this program around. Because right now he's underachieving big time. There's no way in Hazel we should have lost to Iowa State.
Yeah, the Iowa State one's rough, man. That one's hard to get my head around personally. You know what I mean? In general, because even at worst case scenario, I think they're player for player as good as Iowa State.
Right.
And to lose like that at home off a bye when you are on a losing streak, the optics don't look good about that, right? Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you should have been trying to, all right, take everybody involved out of it, whatever. You got on a 3 game, you're at home. You think, and you got a team that's equally as talented, or you feel like you may be a little bit more talented than you think. All right, you smoke that team, homecoming weekend, everybody parties. You're 3-3, got another game coming next week. But that's not the case, right? They're 2-4, no wins in the Big 12. This is the first game that I've seen covered that they competed as a unit as a whole. Like the other ones, you could be mad about a minute here and there. All right, maybe a play call here and there. At the end of the day, overall, they look like they belong. This was the first game they kind of even. What makes it hard, I know I didn't even finish my statement on that. What makes it harder is the game that you could have got the pass on, per se, like from the outside looking in, was the Oklahoma game.
Right.
And even though the offense struggled in the red zone, and that's been their like Achilles heel this year, the red zone, honestly, they controlled Oklahoma so much that I thought Texas was going to beat them by 2 touchdowns.
Oh, I did
at least. You know what I mean? Because I saw them in person. I saw what this defense that is, a legit Big 12 defense controlled that team all day at Nipper Stadium. And I was like, I know it's a rivalry game or whatnot, but I'm like, I thought they were going to just run through them because I saw what UC did to them. You know what I mean? And it was totally different. So it was just like, it was weird. And then just to see them play against lesser teams, and they played so well against a team that's top notch per se, or at least top tier. I don't think Oklahoma's in this, like, in the realm of Georgia. This year's a little bit, it's kind of coin flip or whatever this year. I don't think nobody's really ahead of the pack. If Ohio State had a good quarterback, that'd be different. Maybe in Michigan.
Penn State looks good.
Penn State looks real good. I like how Washington's looking. I don't think Georgia is number 1, but they don't impress me this year the same. Right. And that is not even me being a hater. They don't impress me. So it's just weird. So it's a weirder year. So for them to do what they did to Oklahoma and then go against lesser competition and not look as good or not look as sharp, it's disappointing overall. Just keeping it real. You know what I mean? Because you think of Oklahoma, Iowa State. It's not Iowa State when they had Montgomery and, those guys. You had Lazard and, even Brock Purdy. You know what I'm saying? It's not them. And then for them to come into the Bearcats' house and to literally just pull their private parts out, piss all over Nipper Stadium. You know what I'm saying? It was nice. They literally put their private parts out and was like, I'm pissing on the stadium, walk around. And that's taking it light, you know what I'm saying? They pissed on the Nipper Stadium turf, so nobody expected that, you know what I mean? So, but that's just me being blunt about that part.
That's why they were homecoming.
Yeah, homecoming, man, homecoming. You supposed to go crazy. They said, man, what homecoming, right? So, F your homecoming, bro. They said, give me what chain? My grandmama gave me that chain. No, but you know what I'm saying? Like Devo came, you know what I'm saying? Red. We was red. Said, what chain, punk? But she got on my 40. That's how they ran up on us like that. So, but the thing is, like, my thing is, which you play high level football, play low, very, very, very low level football. But do you think your question, like the locker room. How do you think? I know the transfer portal makes it a little bit different because you guys had more cohesion. There was not as many transfers because you had to. But in general, do you think? I mean, this Baylor game on paper is a very winnable game. Should be a get right game for this team. But how do you feel about the locker room? Like, how do you think? Like, if you were in the locker room, how would you feel? Or just in general, how from what you saw on Saturday, maybe the other
I
games?
give him 1 or 2 weeks before. I give him 1 or 2 weeks before he loses the locker room without a win. If we lose 2 games, the locker room is gone. People are in the portal, in the wind, and we're and we're in trouble. and I don't know if he has the bandwidth to recruit the level of players that Fickle did, especially local guys. I just don't know. I don't know what his mojo is. It seems to be this guy is just an insurance salesman, and has no charisma about his personality. He coaches that way on the field. He doesn't show any emotions. He's got his face in the calling plays. He's not addressing kids after they come off. When they come off, see, that's the reason why I don't believe in head coaches calling offenses and even defenses for that matter, because he's not engaged with the temperature of the team. He's not on the bench. He's not walking to the sidelines. He's not, he's as soon as the play is over, he's looking for his next play to call. He's not addressing these kids when they come off. So, and then, that Miami of Ohio game, he didn't even get upset when he had an opportunity to get the team going and get emotional and rouse the kids up like Fickle did and some of the other coaches that you see that whom are successful. So I just, it's hard to read this guy. I mean, I tried to be optimistic this past week, and I posted that, the good coaches bounce back and have a chance to rebound. And I tried to give him, because I was killing the brother. I ain't gonna lie. He was garbage can soup for a couple of weeks, and I backed off of that. And I'm still not gonna go back because we already kind of know it ain't good, and I just, when you break it down play by play, he is not doing a good job of coaching this football team and navigating them strategically through the games to make an impact and come back. They're not a comeback team. They're not even broached that whole I'm gonna come back. We got a comeback going on. They, it's just like his game plan has zero recognition and strategy at halftime. It's like they go in the locker room and come out doing the same exact thing. Or they start off the game trying to get the guy in the pocket, but they go back to the straight drop back. You don't have receivers. You don't have any fast receivers. You never use your tight end. And that's the biggest sin, is that if you got a running game, which is the only positive offensive thing they got going on is a running game, and you don't even use play action to throw down the seam to your tight end or your slots. And you got these big old receivers running down the middle of the field, and you don't even use the middle of the field. And this kid can't, I don't know if he can't, but he's not completing passes on 15-yard curl routes and out routes and timing routes. He's not doing that. And if the kid, and he's not even running well. He doesn't even look like a great running quarterback. I mean, he's tippy-toeing and it just doesn't even look aggressive. He gets open and runs 10 yards every once in a while, but he ain't no Action Jackson. That's for damn sure. So, it's just, to me, it's just, again, I'm trying to be, at this point, I'm trying to be positive because it's nothing but negative, and I don't want to pile on at this point.
Yeah, I feel.
I want our team to have some success because I've been on a bad team there, 2-9 team at Cincinnati. It was horrible. It was the worst thing ever, and we had a horrible coach. And I don't want this guy to be that horrible because it hurts. But he's not doing it. 90% of the problems is coaching because you got enough talent to at least challenge these teams, and you're not challenging anybody. You're not challenging. You're out there. You're running the same play over and over again. You're not making any adjustments, and that's the problem. I'm seeing the same thing over and over again, with the exception of the start of this last game. They started getting this guy out and design runs, and then they said, okay, well, we'll just rush 5 instead of 4, or 4 instead of 3, and stopping all the design runs because he can't get the ball to the receivers. So yeah, that's where it is with me. It's just a frustrating situation. It's like you can't put your finger on it. As far as the players, the quarterback is not great, but he is a 4-star coming out of high school, so he must have done something good. So
true.
Yeah.
True. So all right, in general, if they win this weekend, what do you think that does for the team? What do you think that does for the fan base in general? Like, is it how they win? Is that more important than the win to you?
I mean, first of all, I don't mean this in a bad way. I don't personally feel this way, but fuck the fan base. Excuse my language. If you're a coach,
you can't. You gotta have.
Exactly.
You gotta have rabbit ears. You can't have rabbit ears. You gotta let that just slide off. Whatever.
Right.
Even us. You know what I mean? You gotta let it slide off your back.
And forget my language from all my church people.
I feel you.
Just came from church. So I can't copy. I can't.
So I'll take a sip.
Church people on this, but anyway.
Yeah,
so,
don't tag. Yeah, don't tag.
I mean, basically, you got to get a win the best way you can, and you get because whenever you have players come out saying don't give up on us, there's negativity going around in the locker room. They feel the need to come out in public and like Don Corleone did.
Yeah.
And I respect the heck out of that kid, man. He's gonna be a first round draft choice. But it's obviously bothering the team, and I know it bothers the coach. But so for this coach, you got your back against the wall. You gotta, man, if you can put chewing gum on the bottom of their cleats in the game somehow, do that. I mean, you got to win
by any means.
Hey, send the girl to the hotel lobby, whatever you got to do.
Man, I feel you. Yeah, you got to send a bunch. I feel you. How many players travel? 75. You got to send about 15 to the lobby. You hear me?
15. Yeah, yeah, man. And see, the thing is, it's not like these are Hail Mary. I mean, they got to go out and play out of their minds. They just have to play better. They're good enough to beat these teams. And, the running game, they got to understand which one of these guys is the bell cow. And it's Kiner. I mean, Kiner, you should run this kid until he wants to come out the game. The other kids are great, off action guys, faster guys or whatever. Yeah. But Kiner, man, I mean, he's only gonna get better as the game goes on.
Yeah, he's a punisher
in the world. But that sets up the rest of your game. It's just like he's got a script that they came up with, and he's sticking to it every single game. He's making no adjustments mid quarter, let alone mid game. So, and then defensively, they got to find an edge rusher. They got to find somebody dynamic enough to get to the quarterback on a one-on-one blocking situation, because right now they're chipping down, double teaming on the tackles and sometimes on the nose, and we got nobody. I mean, the little chubby kid trying to rush. I don't even know his name. Trying to rush the passer. He's not a great. He's a good football player, but he's not a lean guy that can get around. and be very athletic. I've yet to see him hit the quarterback. So, we don't have guys on the edge that can beat one-on-one blocks, and that's the difference. And that's got to be somebody on the roster. Hell, what's the quarterback that went to wide receiver? Put him there. I mean, he's a good athlete. I mean, I'm just being.
No, he is a good athlete.
We got to stick outside the box at this point. We're in a desperation mode. We can't. We had 2 wins, man, against East Kentucky, and I don't even remember who else we beat. Oh, Pitt, which is turning out to be a flop.
Yeah, you're right. That's true.
So, yeah, man. I mean, that's, to me, that's the biggest thing, man. And I'm not, like I said, I normally I lay in on the guy, but at this point, we kind of know for this year anyway, he's coached terrible so far.
It's been rough.
Some of the players have underachieved, and I think everybody else is just doing what they do and we're going to do, but they're just in the system. I think the quarterback is probably a decent quarterback in the right system, but in this system, they're not favoring him as far as the play call. It's like they got their offense, and it's, if you don't adapt, then hell, with you. So, it's hard for me to talk bad about them and get some jokes off on these cats. They're so bad, man. I feel bad.
Sometimes you gotta get off your chest. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I just, I'm gonna watch this week and anticipating a loss, honestly, and that way I don't get my hopes up.
Damn, that's the tough part,
man. It'd be cool, but I mean, Baylor's down too, so it'd be pretty devastating loss to lose to Baylor.
Yeah, the double up. If you double up on Iowa State and Baylor at home, I don't know. I don't see a win. Like, personally, like, just because that means that I think the team morale, no matter what they do, unless they make some switches. I mean, only thing I think, you put a whole bunch of young guys in there and they're just like, F it, we going balls to the wall, and they just make hellified plays. I don't know, but it's honestly, if you lose back to back, Iowa State, Baylor, because you get Oklahoma State on the road, boom. I don't think the morale will be as great. You know what I mean? I don't think everybody will be jumping. They'll be there, of course, right? But I don't think it'll be all right, we here to put our name in the name in the papers, or our name on the internet on a positive way. You know what I mean? UCF on the comeback. Right now I feel like that's a super winnable game. But if you don't lost, that would be 6 in a row. If you're at a 6 in a row losing streak. I mean, I don't know how you play against UCF at home. It doesn't matter at the same time. You know what I mean? Like,
you're 100%
right. You get Houston on the road, which should be a winnable game. They're starting to pick up a little momentum. But that's not just a slam dunk. You know what I mean? Like, it should be if you're playing solid ball. And then Kansas, that Kansas game was already going to be I thought was going to be the hardest one on the schedule after Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And and if you're losing, shit, that game gets even more dangerous to me. So I might be missing a game or two in there, but I just feel like it can get it's. I think this week is danger zone. Like, I feel like Iowa State was danger zone, but I feel like this is like the red buttons hitting for this season. You know what I mean? Like, this season is really in the can. To me,
so you're up in Cincinnati. I'm here in Dallas. It's like, are the backup quarterbacks that damn bad?
So, this is my honest thoughts. I think Lichtenberg is a solid thrower. I don't think he can run as good. He definitely can't run as good as Emory. He's not like a statue back there, though.
Yeah.
Pretty accurate though. Like, from what I've seen, pretty accurate. I don't know if he processes as fast, but I feel like he's a more cerebral type dude. Solid. mean, definitely a D1 player. Like I feel like D1 player 100%. Like he's not like somebody that's just placeholding a scholarship. The Drogosh kid, who's a true freshman, has the it to me. I don't know if he's like the pure leader yet, you know what I mean, being a pure freshman. But far as pure talent, I think he probably be the most talented guy on that's in the quarterback room to me personally. But he's probably gonna make some ball-headed mistakes because he has a real strong arm and he believes in it too. And he can move a little bit. But I don't know. Like we asked the question. I feel like my man Keith Jenkins of AP, he might have asked if he thought about changing. Right now, he's strictly on Emory, but he was, I think Drogosh has the most potential. He got the most upside. Like when you see him throw a couple and he runs and moves, you see a legit high level D1 quarterback back there. Okay. But I know he was saying like, I don't know if he's trying to hold on and keep him as a red shirt, or what, you're gonna do the fun. But now, I mean, this is the catch 22 because you're losing. The kid might not want to stay anyways, even if he's not playing. So I would say, if you feel like you're at a point where this kid can do enough to win, you make the change. I mean, you do something, because that kid can leave and be playing next at whatever school, D1, wherever, next year. But if you make the switch and he does something, he might spark this team and he might stay. You know what I mean? I'm not saying the kid's gonna transfer or whatever, but it's not like how it used to be back in 2010 where you had to ride it out a year or two. You know what I mean? To see like, all right, can I break through? Can I not? Now you can be like, man, F this. I don't like how he talking to me, and I'm gone. I ain't gotta hold out. You know what I mean? You gone. So, it depends on what kind of pedigree you got. You probably gonna be able to at least go parallel. In that worst case scenario, you go a step down and you probably might start. Like, you know what I mean? You go down to the AAC, don't go down. If you go down to the MAC, you damn sure starting and you probably gonna kill it. So it just depends. You know what I mean? So this game I think is very key because then you kind of have to make wholesale change. I feel like you have to make wholesale changes if you want to save the season. But then, like, if you want to still go bowling, you have to win this game. If you win this game, I think it buys you time. If you lose this game, you kind of have to take a chance and see if you can catch lightning in a bottle. Because playing for a bowl is damn near, from numbers, it's damn near impossible if you're 2-5. 3-4 is musterable, but it's still, I feel like you got some teams. I feel like you let some teams slide, so then you can't guarantee anything, but you still got a shot. So then I think it keeps, just in my thoughts, it keeps Emory in there a little bit longer if they win. If they lose, then I feel like you have to do something possibly. And that's not dogging Emory. I like Emory. He's a nice young man. He does have talent, but like you said, I think sometimes he misses some throws, but I feel like sometimes they have him play too much pocket quarterbacking, and that's not his strong suit. You know what I mean? Like they have him pure pocket passing, and I think that's not his niche. And I think you have to see that with him. I think Littenberg was more of a pocket passer. Drogosh is more of a pocket passer, but he has kind of like that. I'm not saying he's Aaron Rodgers, but he kind of has that Aaron Rodgers where he can go outside too.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not saying he's Aaron Rodgers because you don't sit Aaron Rodgers, but you know what I'm saying at all. You just let him get it through, but he has that kind of feel to me, if that makes sense.
Well, I felt that after that game that Emory had one or two games, maybe one more game to lose, and then his ass is going to be sitting down next to me. And I don't mean that in a bad way. You're a senior. Nothing else we can do for you, son. I mean, senior, you're not getting drafted. You're not getting signed. You're not the kid from UCLA. What's his name? The quarterback that's in.
Oh, you talking about US? You talking about Caleb? You talking about Caleb Williams?
No. I'm talking about the kid that got signed last year out of UCLA.
Oh, you're
quarterback.
talking about DTR. DTR.
Yeah,
That
DTR.
play for
You're not that
yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
DTR. Yeah.
DTR was a stud. You know, he
Yeah, he
just
was. He
didn't have
was.
all the stats, but
Yeah,
you
he'll
know,
mess up, but he will make a hell of a lot of plays, though. You know what I
exactly.
mean?
Yeah,
Yep.
he's a gamer. He's a gamer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And but it's like, so they, you know, that's, so my thing is, unfortunately, after this game, if he doesn't win it, I think they might just go, you know, test these other kids out, which rightly so. I mean, you had
Yeah, you kind of
here,
have to. You see,
yeah,
if you catch lightning in a battle. If they play good, great. If not, you just see what you got,
right. You
and you
see
got
what
to
you
figure out what you got to hit the portal harder. You know what I mean? Like it's either is he like, because if not, okay, if he plays good, you know, Saturday, cool. That's a positive. If he plays badly, that could still be a positive. I mean,
right.
you know what I mean? Because then now you're like, okay, we got to
Yeah, I
get
mean, yeah.
these.
At this point, we're just getting ready for next year.
You
And the
crossing
thing is,
stuff off. You crossing stuff off the list now. Like at the end of the
right,
day, like it's harsh, but it's real. Like because at the end of the day, okay, we can do apples to oranges or whatever. But you know, all right, this season is pretty much down the drain. Boom, can't
yeah,
cry or spill milk. You got to move forward. So you got to see who's going to be here next year that can help you. Where do you think you need to get better at? Where do you think you get the portal at? Like you gotta just keep pushing that way, because if not, you know, you're gonna be in trouble. You know what I'm saying? You don't want you don't, no matter what, you don't want this year to happen again next year. You don't want to double up. You know what I'm saying? You double up, people will go crazy.
right.
Um, and the
I
thing is, the Big 12 is right for the taking. That's what hurts about this year.
yeah,
That's what hurts about
we
this
could
year
have
so
made a big
far.
splash.
Yeah, I'm
We
not
did,
saying it would have been where Oklahoma and them. I think they might have. I don't think they would have been. I think they could have been like the second tier though this year.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
easily.
For sure.
We had the talent to do that. They just underachieved big time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, um, I just, again, man, I can't put my finger on it. This guy just, I don't know, man. I like really didn't feel that way with Fickle. I said, okay, Fickle, you know, he's a player's coach. I didn't know he was going to be as good as he was, but I dang sure didn't think he was going to be lousy either.
Yeah.
So, but this guy, I mean, I knew I knew that when they hired him, it was a settle. It was only his, you know, his roof was here. You know, it's not up here. You know, so he's only going to be a 9-game win, which is great right now. We
Yeah.
would love to have that. It just seems like he's, you know, this guy's looking for his retirement. And like, look, let me get this, you know, $4 million, couple years, put that away, then go back to coaching in mid-major somewhere, and be happy at 8-5 and for the rest of my life. And that's kind of where it's. And with, I mean, this athletic director is, my God, he can. I can right now be the offense coordinator. He's hiring average coaches, and I only know basketball and football. And the basketball hire to me just reeked of average. And now that doesn't mean he's not going to get better.
Yeah.
And grow into it. Coaches do that sometimes. But but does your fan base have the patience to, you know, for that to happen? And with today's environment with NIL and transfer, kids read, you know, they're constantly reading on the internet different things. So they kind of, you know, maturate towards the charismatic coaches right now. And these coaches on Instagram, and Deion's all over the place. And you best believe that defensive line in Colorado and those cornerbacks are not going to get beat next year, because you got guys right now at Alabama who only getting 10, 15 plays a game, but they're 4 or 5 star guys. They're getting them out of there.
Yeah.
It's
easier. Yeah.
So I guess my thing is, what are we going to attract in the portal on his personality? And I have not been around him enough to understand whether or not he is a player's coach or not. So I don't know. And that's that's the hard part of being in Dallas versus when I was in Cincinnati covering the Bearcats. So, at least I got a chance to talk to, stupid coaches. And, what was his name? The worst coaches of all time, Tuberville. Actually, him and Dave Curry, they like it right there. And then I was every week we got to talk about the Tuberville situation.
Yeah, we do. It always comes forefront. But no Tommy. But yeah, man, Tubbs, yeah, that's rough.
Yeah,
I just think, man, I don't know. I feel like this week, I feel like this week is very important. To win this week, give some hope. I just didn't expect last week. That's kind of what, even though like I know I feel like I'm harping on. I didn't expect last week. This week and give some hope of at least some 6-6 vibes, maybe, or you just kind of lose one, win one, maybe win two in a row, and that's cool. We can do that. They can go semi-bowling. I just don't right now until it happens. I can't hang my hat on it because there's been games, especially the two games you lose. Those should be wins, hands down. And you just be able to control a team like Oklahoma like that and make them look ordinary to me. And it's just like, damn, you know what I mean? And just to let a team like Iowa State come in here and just punch them in the mouth was just like super highly unexpected. So it's just
we're gonna end up at the Skyline Chili Bowl down in
chili cheese Frito Bowl.
I mean, yeah, I would be happy to go. I probably won't.
I'd be happy too.
But I mean, I'd be happy if they did go there. But I just think, man, it's deflating to me, man. I can't even. My emotions, my football tingling emotions and everything are just are subdued, and only because I don't want to, I don't want to get all involved emotionally with this team, and they just let me down.
Yeah,
go to the grocery store and don't come back.
It's like hit you with
cigarettes and never come home.
It's like Dad said he was coming back.
That's it, yeah, and
Dad told you he was gonna take me. You know what I mean?
And the thing about it is, man,
why you don't want me?
and the thing about it is, it's not. It's not all the coach's fault, but
for sure,
it's a big share of the fault. You committed a fraud, dude. You came in here, and you didn't come here with your best effort as a coach. You don't have these kids ready to play every week. They're making mistakes. You got a quarterback. You saw what he could and couldn't do, and you continue to this day, to this game, to insist that he be a drop back quarterback.
Yeah,
and everybody can see that. And you got a good running game, and you're not countering off of that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's just the arrogance to think that your game plan is somehow going to magically work because you wrote the game plan. But right now, man, you're stinking it up, and we're not happy. And that's what we are.
So
we're not happy.
I think you might be speaking for the fan base right now, even though you say F the fans. We're not, the Bearcat fan base isn't used to this. Like, even last year when people were saying like Fickle was 1 foot in, 1 foot out, not that, you know what I mean? That just the last, 18 double digits. 19, 20, they didn't have enough games to really be double digits. 21, 22, almost. So, I mean, you got nine plus wins the last, 5 years? So, it's a spoiled fan base right now. You know what I mean? So it
wasn't just Fickle. I mean, we've been good for 20-something, 30 years now.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like in the mentor, they start shocking. You start seeing the come up.
Yeah, Minter.
You got D'Antonio, Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly.
Even Butch kept the stuff afloating. He said he kept it afloating enough. And then he dipped out. He got that bag. Like, I'm out of here. But
I forgot about him.
Yeah. Butch
Where's
Jones
he
is like,
coaching at?
man, I think he's like, I feel like he was on is he on Bama staff?
Oh, he's on the staff.
But he might be a head coach somewhere now. He's either on staff. I know he was on Bama staff in the last couple years. He might like for sure. Because Tennessee, I feel like somebody else gave him a chance. He done finessed the bag. That's a finesser too. Finesse
Yeah,
game. But
yeah,
I ain't mad at that. I mean, get your money, right? But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. This week is very important.
What
Very
time is the
important.
game this week?
Noon.
Noontime.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there. I'm in the building, man. I'm hoping me as the fan, not the media member. I'm hoping for good vibes. They come out here, get score some few points. They score in the red zone for me. Me as a media person, I gotta be optimistic, super optimistic. Um, both ways because you just don't
Yeah,
know. You know what I'm saying? You just don't know. But I'm hoping just for the players. I mean, not even thinking about the coaches, just because the players, especially all the kids that have like stuck it out, are from this area.
yeah,
Hoping they can get that dub, man. I hope that their last year, or the people that are like the Malik Vans and Jawan Briggs that are like on their last year. Hopefully they can get
yeah,
don't go out where they can go out at least 500. So we'll see, man. I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for everybody, honestly, because then coaches, everybody be a little bit happier, man, if they can finish out 6-6 or something like
yeah.
that.
I mean, I want them to get that to that 6-6 mark, or
Yeah, no
right.
matter how it looks, if it's ugly, just get there, like
You
somehow,
get six
somehow, some
wins. I'm happy. I'm happy.
same, same.
And I mean, at this point, I just want the next win. Um, and I just really, I need to see something from this coach, man. I really do, because if we don't see something, recruiting is going to be ugly, and
That's
and if we don't recruit well, it's going to hurt us
that's
big time for years. And
that's the thing. Yeah, that's what I'm like. Yeah, with you, to piggyback off that, like, because kids are um like just in general, like I tell people this all the time. Like I went to UC when I was, I don't know if I even said this on a pod before, but like I knew when I was younger, I was like, I'm going to Ohio State, right? Got accepted to Ohio State, Bowling Green, Miami of Ohio, um, Kent State, whatever. But I came down to UC. I'm a big UC basketball fan. You got Kmart, all these people down here. Boom, boom, boom. Shit, y'all get my money. So I'm a UC person, and that's what happened. You know what I mean? Because
right,
I say that to say this: kids are very impressionable at 16,
absolutely,
17 years old. Like
right,
you asked me at 10 years old to 14. I'm telling you, I'm going here. When I'm 16, 17. You know what I mean? I'm impressionable. Like, and I'm
right,
here. I like this team. I go out there. I like the campus. I'm there. You know what I'm saying? That's just a
right,
person on academic side. So just imagine how the kids are that are getting attention from. Some are, might be late bloomers. Some might be have been getting attention since they were 8 to 10 years old. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, so we'll see, man. It just depends on. I mean, I like how the recruiting department, that how they attack people or like how they build relationships. I hope that holds weight. But at the end of the day, when the product you put on the field will um it influences people. You know what I mean? Like I can have the best relationship with somebody, but I know if they're gonna put me in a situation I don't like, I'm not going to put myself in a situation. You know what I mean?
hmm,
So that's how I look at it. That's how I look at recruiting. Almost like I look at it just kind of how like I got a kid that plays multiple sports right now, and I'm trying to, I try to
let's see,
talk to him, see what's in what he likes. You know what I mean, or talk to him about that. All right, what makes the most sense for you? You know what I mean, and then we
yeah,
go
help
from
them make a
there.
decision, yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Like, can't go by just because this team's name or how they gonna use you. Boom,
right,
boom. Are they gonna be a little bit, all right, cool? Are they gonna use you in the best spot? You know what I mean? Or you
right.
know what I mean? So it's just depends, man. It's a hell of a thing. So yeah, man. You got before we I don't know before I hold you hostage any longer, what what you got, man? What's some give some positive words. Probably you came from church today. Give me something.
My goodness.
Give me something, man. Give me something.
What
Save
related
save
to
save a
or
couple
just
dollars on
life?
life. You save a couple dollars on insurance this week.
I'm sorry.
You save a couple dollars on insurance from Geico or something. I don't know. Just give us something positive, some positive
Man,
vibes. You know what I'm
I
saying?
just think just like we got a little church group, married couples, and we chop it up and encourage each other to be there for our spouses and um, I guess one of the things today is to you know um, to be as dedicated to your wife as you are to the Lord, and because it's what He asks for. He asks for you to take the same relationship um, and mirror that to from yours with him to yours with her, and vice versa. So, and I think if we do that, and all in every aspect of our marriage, we have that respect and love for that person, that you'll have a dynamite um, uh, let me say dynamo of a relationship, a very positive relationship, and a very effective relationship. And you can pretty much accomplish whatever you want together, and that correlates over to coaching and football. But we're gonna go back. But so that's my positive. I got that to do with church.
All right, cool. That's what's up.
We're gonna
end it on. We gonna end your segment on that. Then, man, that was nice.
Right, you
nice,
young
positive.
boys out there. When she asks you to do something and you don't want to do it, just do it.
Just do it.
Do it one time, because guaranteed she's gonna do something for you that she don't want to do. So
yeah,
do it. No need for argument.
That's a part of the game, right?
It's part of it. You better know the game. If you think you're gonna get married and you have that dinner and that clothes washed, and you just keep on, don't come to DeSoto, Texas, at 131 Meadowbrook, thinking you was gonna get dinner every night.
Hey,
and clothes washer. Guess who the clothes washer is?
You gotta handle business, man. You gotta rotate, man. You gotta rotate sometimes. But I was gonna say, you gotta think about like Coming to America, my favorite movie. You're like, what you like? Whatever you like. If you think that shit gonna happen, then you in the wrong business, buddy. Hop on like a dog, right?
Yeah,
yep, that ain't happening. That ain't happening, dog. You might get that up maybe one day. You feel me? But that's not reality. I say, if you think it's gonna be like a Tyler Perry movie, you in the wrong business, brother. No, but but cool. All right, damn, man. Well, till next week, man. We gonna make this happen again, my guy. I appreciate you. And cool, man. All right.
This one was good. We didn't get. I didn't want to get on him like I could have. I'm just,
Hey, you positive. Came from church, man. You came from church. It's a heart.
Right, exactly.
The heart. Your heart was telling you that you had something to say, but you didn't want to go scathing. So you know what I'm saying. So
I didn't have a chance to go out on the patio and smoke me a Perdomo.
You go ahead and do that now, man. You got time.
and have a shot before I come on. Because sometimes when I be on here, I just
Sometimes you got to though. I mean, I still got a little in here. I mean, we still live, so I still got a little something in there. You know what I'm saying? Make you relaxing. You know what I'm saying? The kids, well, you know what I'm saying? Situation, work. You know what I'm saying? You gotta relax, man. Sometimes you gotta relax. Work too hard not to relax sometimes.
And y'all gotta drop some damn interest rates, man, so we can make some.
Oh man, dude, yeah, for real. Cause I be like, look, I tell people all the time, like, man, if you think I'm about to offer you a good rate, we might as well stop talking now. Like, like, how can I help you? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You need some money?
Yes, no? Sir. One last thing before I break, I'm gonna go ahead. I got my wife's brand on, Black Outside the Box, which is if you go to blackoutsideTheBox.com, or if you check it on Facebook, it'll come up and you get the You can buy all the shirts. It's basically empowerment. We go out and help the homeless people. Um, we're building towards scholarships for unwed moms and young fathers. These are the type of scholarships that get you licensed to drive trucks and some of the certifications where you can make money really quick versus a 4-year college degree. You can always go back and get that, but just trying to build sustainable homes for single parents and educational systems for young single parents. It's called Black Outside the Box. It's not limited to Black folks by any means, but we just want to think outside the box and do things unconventionally because the world is changing, and you're gonna have to be educated differently than perhaps the way we matriculated through school, 4 years of college. There's other ways to make money, and with Bitcoin coming and all other good stuff, educate yourself that way as well. So Black outside the box.
Bet, yeah. hey, help him out. Help out Mrs. Sellers, because that's going to a good cause, man. I'm all about good causes, man.
Absolutely, man.
For sure.
You get down to Dallas, would come out here and give out food with us and clothing and all that other stuff.
For sure, man. I'm a definitely. I know I'm gonna have to be down there sooner than later, man, and we're gonna have to break bread down there. So let me know, man.
You got a place to stay, man.
For sure. You said that, man. That's all I need to hear. Go down there. I want to smoke a cigar with you.
Yeah, bring the wife and the kids. Summertime, the kids can go swimming and all that good stuff.
Hey, man. Hey, that sounds great. So yeah, for sure, man.
Sir.
For sure.
So I got you.
All right,
man. Right. Well, it was a kind of a leaner, subdued version, but I wanted to kind of lay off, dude. I didn't want to get him. I got a lot to say.
Yeah, I feel you.
Point, you can't kick a man when he's down all the time.
Nah, you can't, man. I'm telling you, get the dub this week.
Yeah.
Being glass half full, get the dub this week. Positive, you go on the road, get back to 500. Then you got a chance. You know what I'm saying? And if you lose one, win one, lose one, cool. Just get to the bowl season. I think everybody be very, very happy. But it ain't gotta be pretty. Just get there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? If you got one toe hanging out the shoe, but you get there, you know what I'm saying? It ain't gotta be pretty, man. That's all I'm saying. All right, Dan, I'm gonna let you go, big dog, and we'll get back to it next week. All right, peace. All right, y'all, stay with me. I'm about to bring my man Neil Meyer on board. He's down in Kansas City right now as we speak. Covering the Big 12 media days for the basketball team on the basketball side of things. So we're going to have some positive and negative feedback or positive, negative talk, because there's a couple things that were great, a couple things that were not so great that happened today. So we'll talk about that. And if you were in the spaces with Cam and the crew, they already touched it, but we're going to touch it on the TFON podcast. So I'm going to bring my man Neil in the building. Neil, what up?
What's up? What's
going on, man? We got my man Neil Meyer live in the Airbnb. He ain't even in the hotel room, man. My bad. He got the fancy.
Yeah, I got the Airbnb this time.
He got the Airbnb in Kansas City, kicking it with Travis Kelce right now. All right, so I just talked for 50 minutes, a little bit over 50 minutes with my man Dan Sellers, talk about football. Bring you on, talk some hoops. So do you want to talk positive stuff or you want to talk negative stuff first? You let me know. It don't matter. You tell me.
We can get the negative stuff out of the way first. Obviously, I feel like that's the bigger topic.
All right, so I'll ask the question. All right, so we'll go negative. All right, so as we know, if you've been checking front office news, Neil posted this when it first dropped on X, aka Twitter, that Aziz and Jamil, both who have Aziz Bandago and Jamil Reynolds, both who have transferred in. Aziz from Utah Valley and Jamil from Temple, they got their waivers denied or declined, aka from Wes Miller, which is very, very, very heartbreaking news for Bearcat. basketball fans. As you know, but Jamil is a 6'11" big man that can score in the paint. He shed a lot of weight. It's very athletic. Aziz, he dominated the Bearcats, in the NIT, is a rim runner, bouncy can be. 7 foot, two guys that really would affect his team, really are very positive guys. And Neil posted very in-depth information on the site. Make sure you guys check that out. So throwing it out there now. But Neil, just give us the vibes on what's going on. You are there right now. You were there when he announced it. You talked to him even after the fact. You and a couple other media members. How big of a blow is this right now? I know that they are appealing, but how big of a blow is Aziz and Jamil not being a part of the active roster right now?
Yeah, it's a huge blow. Obviously, those were two of the bigger pieces you bring in via transfer portal this offseason. But I mean, when the announcement first came out, I mean, Wes Miller went on a strong 3-minute long speech roughly at the podium talking about what this process has been like, the denial by the NCAA. And then he broke into it a little bit more on the breakout room where we got a lot more information on the whole situation itself. But starting with what he said at the podium, I mean, it was a message that had a lot of volume, to say the least, and you can sense his frustrations. Obviously, him and his staff both feel like the guidelines the NCAA laid out. He feels strongly that Jamil and Aziz meet all the criteria to be immediately eligible for this Bearcats team come this spring, or this fall, actually. So, I mean, he feels strongly positive about how they should be eligible. And then, I mean, he really laid the hammer on the head. I mean, we can talk about the full quote a little bit, talking about what he said following the announcement of Jamil's and Aziz's process. I mean, the whole quote is, they were denied at the staff level, and I have learned more about this process than I thought I ever would or care to. Now we have to submit an appeal, and it goes to an appeal committee at the NCAA. Listen, we are very discouraged by the news last week. The issue at hand isn't whether we should have restrictions on two-time transfer. That is not the issue with this situation. The issue at hand is we have 2 players and many more out there in America who were given guidance when making life decisions last spring to transfer. They were given guidance and guidelines by the NCAA as an option to play this season. Both Aziz and Jamil felt like they met those requirements, made life decisions based on that decision to transfer at the University of Cincinnati. We feel as strongly as you possibly can that they have met those guidelines and standards that were laid out by the NCAA. I expect them to be cleared because they meet those guidelines. Out of respect to Jamil and Aziz, I won't talk about their personal business, but I know that situation with both of them deeply. I know their waivers deeply. I understand the guidelines that were laid out. They meet those. It's undeniable. So I do have hope that through the appeals process, they'll be cleared. However, I am concerned about how it will affect them. Certainly, it will affect our team, but how will it affect young people who are led to believe something based on guidelines by a massive institution if they are not cleared? How will it affect their mental health in the short term? That concerns me on a much deeper level. So we will keep you up to date, but I'm hopeful they'll be cleared through the next round of appeals. So that was Wes Miller's initial statement at the podium early this morning. So then you talk about a lot of questions resume, and what's this process like next? How long? What's the time frame on this process? Obviously, it's not great news. You want to see 2 of the bigger pieces you bring in be ruled ineligible. But if you watch the video that we posted earlier, you can clearly sense how frustrated Wes Miller was. And I mean, you talk about that statement. That's a powerful statement right there by Wes Miller. And that's a statement that he feels strongly about. So then we get into what he said on the next aspect of following back. We asked him in the breakout sessions this afternoon on what the appeal process would be like, and if there was a timetable on the said appeal process. So Wes Miller said earlier this afternoon, the appeals have to be submitted to the NCAA by this Friday. Certainly, everything is being done on their end with our assistants to put forth the proper appeal. I am urging Jamil and Aziz to trust this process. I can't even imagine with what I know with the waivers that they don't get cleared. But honestly, with the news last week, I am a little concerned. I want to believe the NCAA does the right thing here. I do believe there is a time frame. I believe it is a week or two. I don't know exactly off the top of my head. So there's the time frame roughly that Wes gave us today. It could be 1 week. It could be 2. He's not 100% sure. But Wes Miller also noted, I don't want to think of a world where they aren't cleared because I do believe they deserve it as young people. We're preparing as if they'll be cleared because I think they deserve it based on the guidelines and the standards that have been laid out. We're going to wrap our arms around those two regardless, no matter the outcome. I want them to know we are going to do everything in our power to support them and get them on the court this fall. I think this is a bigger picture there's a bigger picture to this situation. They came to the University of Cincinnati to be student athletes. They have careers ahead of them in basketball. Taking a year away from them that they didn't choose to have taken away, they made a choice based on guidelines and standards that were laid out to them. I can't imagine how that would affect their mental health in the short term, but positively their careers in the long term. Wes Miller also stated about the appeal process, and he compared it to his career as a head coach in college basketball. Obviously, it's a little different of a situation, but he said, we're not talking about a coaching career. Let's use mine, for example, where you can coach for the rest of your life. Playing basketball has a time limit on it. It is hard to imagine them not being cleared. Again, not because this is a transfer debate. We gave young people guidelines. Young people made decisions based on said guidelines. We feel like these two have met those guidelines as adults and people who consulted. They definitely meet those guidelines. They deserve to play this fall and winter. I'm going to think positively that we're going to do the right thing here. I don't want to be a guy that's just bashing, but let's do the right thing. The NCAA should clear them, and I expect them to be on the court this season. So that was the full message from Wes Miller. Obviously, it's a lot to take in. You have the full initial quote from the presser of him at the podium at Big 12 Media Days here in Kansas City. And then you have much more of an in-depth reaction to what is next for Aziz Bendago and Jamil Reynolds.
Yeah, true. Yeah, man. It's been crushing. People have voiced their opinion on all platforms. X, aka Twitter. I'm just gonna start calling it Twitter. I'm not calling it X. X sounds like you're about to do some drugs or have intercourse. Yeah, just gonna go Twitter. Twitter, Instagram, even Facebook, man. Like this when I put that in article form and posted it on Instagram, it blew up. Like I literally during breaks I would just check it, and I'm talking about former players were commenting on it, fans. I mean, they're pissed, like super pissed. Like so it's crazy because I think the reason why I understand what the NCAA has going on, but I think they're cutting off their nose to spite their face because like they changed the rules after the fact. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like kids are a transfer. That's why I think everybody is so pissed. Not even I know that's why everybody's so pissed. They changed the rule after everybody already had, transfer per se. So I think they, besides being like, okay, anybody that transfers after we switch this rule up and make it easier, right? Okay, boom, we switched it. If you transfer before, your process is going to be, okay, you got your grandfather in because you transferred in before this happened. And there's other situations that happen, coaches leaving, et cetera, et cetera. But they're treating kids that transferred before like kids that transferred after. And I understand they're trying to, police it a little bit better so people just can't just free up and go without graduating, et cetera, and not get more than one transfer. But you can't I can't say the goal is to get 6 yards and then you can't tell me first down is 10 yards and then you change it to 15, but I got the 10 yards before you changed it and then tell me it's not a first down. That's a good analogy. I'm rolling with that. Yeah, and that's what the NCAA is doing. That's why everybody is so pissed. And then that's not even counting any of their life situations with it as well. So I'm rooting for those guys. Hopefully they can play. The only thing is it's tough because you don't know, the timeline. I just think of what's his name, Tez Walker
Yeah,
for
from UNC, and that's been a
UNC.
guy that's been drawing a lot of
That's the
comparisons to this
guy.
case.
Yeah. So that's like the guy I'm looking at, like, okay, maybe they have a chance, but who knows if it'll be on it. Like, can they get in before on a positive, can they get in before the Big 12 play starts? Can they get in maybe a week and a half after season starts? Can they start right before the season starts? Who knows? So, will they be just denied? But I don't know. So,
and we're talking about this being such a big blow to the Bearcats. I mean, we brought it up to John Newman and Victor Locken today in the breakout session, and they were caught off by surprise. It seemed like they didn't even know.
Yeah.
I mean, there was John and Victor both looked to each other, and we posted the video, and they both kind of looked to each other like, wait, what? Like, and none of them had any comment on it because they were just blown away, it seemed like, which obviously those two guys are both not only key contributors in John and Victor Locken, but I mean, these are guys that have been practicing since they got here at the University of Cincinnati. And next thing you know, like, season's just under 3 weeks away, and it's all of a sudden, hey, like, they're now ineligible, basically. So, and this is something they found out early last week. So this wasn't just something that just came out today at Big 12 Media Day. This was something that they got the answer, I believe it was last Thursday or Friday, Wes Miller said, and this was the first time they could publicly address the situation. I mean, it was something everyone kind of knew it was going to be addressed, but this is a huge impact to the Bearcats team, because Jamil and Aziz don't get this waiver.
Yeah.
Who steps in behind them? I mean, you have Odi Oguama returning and Victor Locken, who are both key contributors, but then you also have a guy in Sage Tolentino who's still basically a freshman. I mean, he redshirted last season, and this is a guy like Wes Miller spoke on his development today, but he says he's seen drastic improvements in a guy like Sage, but he's still hoping to see a lot more. So, I mean,
he's still green. At the end of the day,
you're looking behind him and you're like, okay, well, what if Vic gets into foul trouble? What if Odie gets in foul trouble? Then what do you go to?
Yeah.
And I mean, in the Big 12, you're going to be going up against 7-foot guys right down there in the paint.
Or even if you're going against 6'10", 6'9" guys, you're going to be ultra athletic. It's not the AAC. Like, AAC in basketball, that's where they had to fall off. Like, football, for the most part, pretty comparable. But basketball, man, that's where this is the best basketball conference in college. Like, flat out. It's like you said, like, even West, we said, said the first presser, no matter what metric you use, Big 12 is going to come out on top, and you don't have any depth in the paint. People, even if the team is small, they're not small. They're everybody 6'7". You know what I mean? Like, you might have a team with a 6'5" point guard. You got 6'7" wings. You got a 6'8" big man, but he's kind of a forward, and they all can finish over the rim. You need rim protection for people that can move their feet, and it's going to be interesting, man. If they don't have, they have to get. If they get both, that'd be the best thing. If they have one, it would be huge. Because it's just like, it'll be all on the wing guys to take real big jumps, and the freshmen will have to be like, I feel like Rayvon Griffith will have to just honestly hit the ground running. I think he's going to have a good year, honestly, no matter what. But I think he'll have to hit the ground running. Dan Skillings will have to hit the ground running, but I think they'll have to guard a lot bigger players, if that makes sense, where they won't really be able to stay purely on the wing. One of those guys will have to be like, okay, I can guard a 4, like a strong, like wide body 6'8" guy. You know what I mean? Where Aziz and Jamil would take that off their plate. Having Odie and Vic with depth is like playing with cards with a deck full of spades, but now they're playing like trying to get set on the board every game if they can't have those big guys. That's how I look at it. But
yeah, and you mentioned the parity in the Big 12. That's the word that's been thrown out quite a bit here at Big 12 Media Days. I mean, we heard it from just about every coach today about how the Big 12 is the best conference in all of college basketball. And I mean,
it is.
you look down statistically. I mean, I asked Odi Aguama and John Newman and Victor Locken about it earlier. And I asked them, I said, has it really hit you guys yet that if you look back at the last 4 seasons of college basketball, that there has been 3 national champions come from this conference? And they all kind of looked and they're like, we didn't really think about that until now. And that's when it kind of hit like, oh yeah, the Big 12's like that. This isn't no joke. And I mean, obviously the news came out yesterday from Commissioner Yormark that this is going to be going to a conference starting in 24-25 of where you're playing 20 conference games a season, not 18 anymore.
Yeah.
They announced the men's going to be playing 20 conference games, and then the women's will be playing 18. So, I mean, overall, like, that's huge for Big 12 basketball. Like, that alone in itself, I mean, heck, I mean, we've talked about it in the past. I mean, we saw it last season in March. West Virginia is a prime example of the parity in this league. I mean, last season they started 0-7 in conference play and
terrible.
Made an NCAA tournament run. So I mean, overall, like the parity in the Big 12 is insane. And then you're thinking about it, you're looking into this season, and there's a lot of teams with pieces that are unknown. I mean, we're talking about waivers. I mean, West Virginia is in the same boat with Raekwon Battle. And I mean, I talked to Josh Eiler earlier in the day, and who's the interim head coach at West Virginia, and he sounded like he had no update on Raekwon Battle. He's been in the same situation for quite some time. And I mean, that's a guy who is going to be coming in and making an immediate impact for West Virginia. And sounds like he didn't even have an update yet on him. And I mean, obviously Raekwon Battle is a huge piece to what West Virginia is building there. Obviously, West Virginia's got a lot of stuff going on, obviously with the Coach Huggins situation. But I mean, the thing about what a West Virginia backcourt could be like with Battle next to Kira Kurisa. So, I mean, overall, like BYU has a player going through the waiver process as well, who started at Kansas, went out to Gonzaga, and now he's back at BYU. So, I mean, overall, like the waiver process is something that's not just affecting the University of Cincinnati. It's affecting the University of Cincinnati the hardest.
Yeah.
But it's affecting other schools within the Big 12 as well.
For sure. 100%. All right, cool. So I'll stop the doom and gloom. I feel like I've been doom and gloom for the last hour. So positive, man. Positive note. Yesterday, the Bearcats released their black jerseys, their black Jumpman jerseys. Super dope intro video, teaser video. The pictures great. Odi Obama was the model for the uniforms. I feel like in the space they graded them. I'm gonna say what they graded them like a test. What would you give the uniforms for the first drop?
Personally, I love them. I do love them, and I got to see them up close a little bit in person today. Obviously, from the pictures and being at Big 12 Media Days, you kind of bypassed a couple people going from the floor to the photo shoots and whatnot. So you saw the pictures of what they look like on social media. And I mean, man, they're impressive. I personally fall in love with them more and more every time I see them. I think the red numbers pop really well. I thought that design was great. Going with the blocks down the side, that was incredible. You had to bring those back. But I mean, overall, just seeing the Jordan back on the jersey, like up close and personal, was fantastic. Fantastic. And I mean, heck, we had an in-depth discussion with Wes Miller, Odi Aguama, Victor Locken, and John Newman today just about the Jordan brand as a whole and what it does to affect the program. I mean, Wes Miller gave like a 2.5-minute speech on how this Jordan brand has affected the University of Cincinnati in recruiting, and it was nothing but positive news.
It's real. It's real. Tell people that, okay, not to cut you off, tell people this is like, it's more than like money you get back, like from the branding, etc. Like people are going to buy these uniforms, whatever, the gear. You're going to go crazy. These things are going to fly off the shelves. Even when they are on the shelves, they're going to sell good. Like right now, it's going to be crazy. I know vendors, because UC didn't have Jordan. I don't know if it was Adidas, but I know they didn't have Jordan or Nike. They weren't going to have you see stuff on their shelves. And I'm talking about prominent businesses, right? So with this, it's going to bring more more merchandise for people to get their hands on, either via buying it online, either via buying it face to face. But people care about it because, like, okay, I tell people this all the time. People are like, it doesn't matter, brand doesn't matter. Like, even the kids that came there before, when you see them, they're wearing Nike gear for the most part. People wear Vans, you might wear some Yeezy stuff, etc. If you're a shoe person, but the majority of the kids are wearing Jordan gear. So in general, if I'm down to the top 3 teams, right, and you're wearing Under Armour, one team's wearing Nike or Jordan, one team's wearing Adidas. The team with Jordan got a better shot unless the roster just isn't conduent for the kid. So this is like a big booster for Wes and the crew, because most people are trying to get to the Jordan game, Jordan brand, Nike camps. I mean, Adidas camps. I mean, everybody goes to all the camps because they want the exposure. But the Nike camp is one of the bigger ones. Jordan is a company of Nike, so it's easier to get kids, man. I'm just telling you, it's way easier. When you say you can give somebody, you can wear Jordans and rock Jordans, it's a different thing, man. It's basketball royalty. People don't understand it. It doesn't matter about the back end for the school, because they're going to get the kids, and then kids are going to generate the back end because you're going to get top level kids.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, while we're on the topic of the Jordan brand, I mean, so when we were talking with Wes Miller, John Newman, Odi Aguama, and Victor Locken this afternoon, we started in the breakout sessions with Wes Miller. So obviously we were talking about the jersey uniforms. He kind of teased that there are still some designs that are yet to be announced, which is obvious.
Yeah.
And he was talking about, so we got on the topic of what is Wes Miller's favorite Jordan sneaker. So I don't know if you saw this tweet yet, JT, you probably have, but Wes Miller's favorite Jordans go with, in the order, the Jordan 3s are his number 1, and his OG 1 lows are at number 2, and his reasons are, and today he had his OG 1 lows on. I did ask him about that.
Okay.
After the topic, I was like, what is your Jordans of choice for today? And he said it was the OG 1 lows. He said, for example, my casual Jordans for going to work or just coaching or practice or something like Big 12 media days today, I love the OG 1's lows, mainly because they are the most comfortable. And then he said the Jordan 3s are his favorite, though, and he really likes the Jordan 4s and 11s. But if you asked his ranking, he said he would go Jordan 3s at number 1, OG 1 lows at number 2, because they are the best for him on a day-to-day basis. But then we had a good interaction with Odi Aguama, Victor Locken, and John Newman today. So we kind of asked them about what their obviously favorite Jordan was now that they are back to Jordan brand. And Victor didn't really give a clear answer. He said he had a lot of sneakers, and then Odi kind of jumped in and cut him off. And Odi Aguama said he loves the Jordan 1s. However, John Newman had a different answer. And if you go to my Twitter, for those who are listening to the podcast, you will see the full reaction from John Newman, where he said he loves the Jordan Bred 4s, and he actually wore them to Big 12 media days. So Victor Locken, being the hilarious character he is, he kind of gave John Newman a little tap on the table. He was like, put them on the table and let's see what they look like. Victor Locken got John Newman to take off his whole Jordan Bred 4 today at Big 12 Media Days and put it on the table. And John, quote unquote, said that shoe was low-key a humble flex because of that being his favorite shoe. And if you guys would have been able to see the reaction from everyone in the circle, everyone was kind of laughing. They were like, he really just took off his shoe just to show the cameras real quick. So Victor couldn't believe it. So that was a funny moment from Big 12 media days as well. But obviously seeing them back in Jordan is just fantastic. And seeing the players engage in it, seeing how open they are to talking about it, showing off the new gear, the jerseys. I mean, it's fantastic. And I think when the other uniforms come out, other designs come out, I think it's going to be great for the University of Cincinnati.
For sure. Yeah, I'm excited about this. This is huge. It's deeper than, I mean, it is about basketball, but it's just deeper. Just the history that Wes is going to be able to call on to Wes and the crew is going to be able to call on Chad Dollar, or going to be able to call on just for the research, man, or to get the recruits. It's gonna be crazy. I'm telling you. You can tell. The Ray Vons and Jizzle James don't come here. Maybe Wes can pull it off, but it's tougher to get a Jizzle James and Ray Vaughn with Under Armour. I'm telling you that now. The McKinleys and Betsy's, it's a little bit tougher to get those type of young men with Under Armour. I'm just letting you know that now. So he's working his hand, and the Jordan brand holds weight. So you can say it's just it's just it's just a shoe, it's just a uniform, just a logo. That's deeper. It's deeper, man. It holds weight, man.
It holds a lot of weight to it.
Who doesn't want to be associated with the best? Jordan. You can say who you think is the greatest or whatever. I'm a Jordan guy, but at the end of the day, holds a lot of weight. Just don't be a stooge on that. I'm telling you, it holds a lot of weight. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Alumni getting pumped. Trust me, I'm talking about former hoop stars are excited, ecstatic. I saw Leonard Stokes this weekend. He had the OG Bearcat J's, the Team Jordan joints. And I need to get a picture of it because he had them on. Them things were super clean. But just stuff like that. Like I'm telling you, man, it's infectious. It's great. It's going to get more kids that want to come here, young men that want to come here, and it's just going to be great for the program at whole. Let's see. I guess I'll come with a semi mild. I guess it's like negative, positive question. Without Aziz and Jamil, how do you feel like the temperature of the team is now? Because I mean, hopefully they can get eligible, but right now they know they're not there. How do you feel, going into? I mean, they did have that secret scrimmage where they lost by 4 against Maryland, which is honestly, I think, is a tournament team, and they played without Aziz and Jamil. That's a pretty solid team, but at the same time, you're gonna be playing solid teams every night. How do you feel like if they had to go to truck this hell of a gauntlet? How do you think they'll do without Aziz and Jamil?
Yeah, without Aziz and Jamil, it could be a long season in the Big 12. Obviously, you're looking at teams in the Big 12. I mean, Kansas just added arguably the best player in the country in Hunter Dickinson, who we know is a powerhouse. We saw it at Michigan. And I mean, I walked by him today, and he's listed at 7'2", and he is every bit of 7'2". And like, I kid not, I got caught looking up. I was like, yep. And I mean, we were standing from like across the court at T-Mobile. And we're like, dude, Hunter Dickinson is massive. And I mean, there's a reason why he was voted Big 12 preseason player of the year. And then you're looking down on it. TCU just brought in Ernst Uda Jr. from Kansas. Another big guy, another big presence, obviously, who's played in the Big 12. Ernst had a lot of great positives at Kansas last season. And I mean, there's something different between all of them. I mean, we know what Houston likes to do down there in the paint. I mean, we saw it with UCF last year when they had Taylor Hendricks. Johnny Dawkins, Kelvin Sampson, whoever it may be, the Big 12 does have one thing, and that is solid rim protectors, and arguably some in the best of the country. So, I mean, the rim protecting, if you do not have Aziz or Jamil, like you're asking Victor Locken and Odi Iguama to do a lot more than what you're anticipating to do. Obviously, Victor Locken did a great job last season down low, and Odi Iguama did as well. But, I mean, it makes your job a lot easier when you have guys like Jamil Reynolds and Aziz Mendigo down low in the paint or in the front court, because then you also think, all right, well, if Vic gets into foul trouble or Odie gets into foul trouble, look what's behind you then. It's Sage Tolentino, and then you're going to have to play small.
Yeah.
So, I mean, overall, if you have those two eligible, I mean, just imagine that. I mean, you have a guy in Aziz Mendigo who can get up 12 feet off the ground. And, I mean, he'll be blocking stuff from the top of the backboard. And then Jamil, I mean, heck, just talk about the transition he made this offseason. I mean,
Yeah.
And, I mean, it even got brought up today at Big 12 Media Days. I mean, 45 pounds is what Jamil Reynolds has lost since coming to campus. It's only
Highest
been
vertical.
months. Like,
And he got the highest vertical too. And we've seen Aziz jump. Like, we've realized how high Aziz. I think Aziz jumps very high and he jumps very quick. Maybe he's not as quick off the ground as Aziz. But that's crazy. Like, he lost 45 pounds and dude got the highest vertical on the team.
And that was another thing too. Like, when we were talking to John Newman and them today, we asked him, we said, who did Mike Rayfeld turn into the biggest monster in the Monster Factory this offseason? And to be honest with you, a lot of them kind of looked back and was like, Jamil was the answer. I mean, John, if you watched the clip we posted, John was blown away. He was like 45 pounds in 4 months since being here. His initial response was, Coach Rayfeld's the best in the country. And I mean, that proves it alone, that what Coach Rayfeld is doing here puts him up there up in the debate of one of the best strength and conditioning coaches in the country. Obviously, I mean, it's never easy making that body transformation, especially doing it in a short period of time.
Yeah.
I mean, so if Jamil does get eligible, Bearcats fans, I mean, you're going to be pretty excited to see what Jamil Reynolds can do. I mean, we saw flashes of him at Temple, but I mean, after talking with Wes, I mean, sounds like today they're finding out a lot more about Jamil Reynolds that they didn't see quite the first time. I mean, they didn't know Jamil could really shoot the three ball. And I mean, we're talking about shooting the three ball. I mean, Victor Locken's shooting at a 40% clip from behind the arc here in the preseason so far. So, I mean, that's another huge positive. I mean, that's something JT and we know about, because Wes has been talking about that for the last, year and a half, about how he wants to expand Vic's game out to the paint. And, I mean, heck, if you can get 40% from Vic from deep on the season, that's impressive.
35% would be great. Honestly, 35, 30. If he's shooting 40, if he shoots 40 when it counts, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. So, they got to get one. If one can get through, that'd be great. I hope both of them, just because of their situations and when they transfer, hopefully both get a waiver. But we'll see, man. We'll see.
So another big topic I guess we can really hit on before we get out of here is the initial reactions of what Cincinnati brings to the table in the Big 12. I mean, heck, I'm working on putting together a little video edit. I think I got 6 or 7 coaches to talk about what Cincinnati brings to the table. And I mean, some of these are in-depth, great answers about what Cincinnati brings to the table. I mean, we saw it with the reactions from Coach Bill Self even. I mean, heck, he mentioned Oscar Robertson sitting courtside. I mean, how crazy is that? And, I mean, you're looking at everything that was said about the Bearcats joining the Big 12. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, going down Kelvin Sampson on the rivalry, I posted the full video. He called Cincinnati has always been a bell cow school, not just in the AAC, but in all of college basketball. And Kelvin Sampson noted how he saw Oscar Robertson play back in the day. I mean, so overall, Kelvin Sampson has really embraced that rivalry. But then you think about this process of what Cincinnati is really bringing in. I mean, the full quote from Bill Self is, you talk about rich basketball traditions. You're talking about the most traditional teams in the Big 12. Cincinnati has to be at the top. I mean, Oscar Robertson played there. Heck, they even won a couple of national championships. I think Cincinnati is a fantastic add to the Big 12. So that right there, I mean, that's coming from a Hall of Fame coach in Bill Self. So that says a lot about what they are bringing to the table. And I mean, Oklahoma head coach Porter Moser said, I've known Wes Miller through a profession. I'm watching him from afar. I know how elite of a coach Wes Miller is and what he's building at Cincinnati. And he says he expects Fifth Third to be loud and energetic, and they hope to light up Oklahoma in terms of fan support for them leaving the Big 12. And then Coach Dixon from TCU said the history goes right back. He was the one who said he remembers Oscar sitting courtside, and he said, let's be honest, how many schools can ever say they have had the greatest of all time sitting courtside? And then Rodney Terry of Texas mentioned, you talk about the basketball tradition at Cincinnati, the great players that have played there. That is overall a great program. They're going to elevate this league with the program they are bringing in. So, I mean, that's a lot of statements right there and a lot of positivity on what Big 12 coaches are expecting Cincinnati to bring just to the conference.
True. Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. I mean, it's definitely a good ad. Basketball, Jordan Brand just seems right. You got a guy that embraces it, understands it, comes from a big time program like North Carolina, not like a North Carolina. So he understands what the brand of Cincinnati basketball is, which is a staple. It's a staple of college basketball. So this is huge. I think it's the perfect combination, perfect marriage. And in the Big 12, man, it's just going to be fans who just have to be very understanding about records. I think, especially if Aziz and Jamil can't be, if they're not clear. But this team is going to compete. I think they'll get a good buffer going into the season, going into Big 12 play. But I just think the Big 12, depending on what the roster is, I think if they get their gel, they'll be fine. But it'll just be it'll be a hell of a thing. It's not the AAC no more. It's kind of like Dorothy won't be able to click her heels and go back to Kansas, if that makes sense. So that's not going to work. If anybody that watched, I forgot the damn name of the movie. But yeah, they won't be able to do that. Won't be able to click the heels. So that's how we'll end it, man. Let's make sure it was a lot of stuff. We talked a lot of basketball, talked a lot of football. Make sure you guys check out my man Neil on the front office news on all platforms. Dude's been killing it. And Saturday the Bearcats will be facing Baylor at Nipper Stadium. I don't like to say it's a must-win game, but I will say it is a must-win game just for morale and just for the fan base in general. I think for everybody. I think for coaches, players, fans. My man Dan said, F the fans when it comes to that. You got to win. You got to just block all the noise out. But at the end of the day, I think everybody will be a little bit happier with a win. Everybody likes winning more than they like losing. For real. That's a real thing. So we'll see what happens, man. Just make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel, man. We've been trying to we've been posting a lot of great content on there. Make sure you guys follow the front office news. We're over 400 followers though on 400 subscribers, not followers, my bad. Subscribers on YouTube, trying to get to that 1K.
And make sure you check out our YouTube as well. Sorry, JT, to cut you off, but we have exclusive interviews with the women's side.
Yeah, you got to show love to the women. Yeah. Matter of fact, before we go, show some. Yeah, we got to show love to Katrina and the crew.
Yes, we got a lot of exclusive content coming out with the women's team. Katrina Merriweather was awesome this weekend at her first ever media day, is what I found out. So that was her first ever media day. She killed it. A lot of great content, and I mean, heck, a lot of positive comments about people throughout the week about Wes Miller and Katrina Merriweather. I know I was talking to somebody from the Kansas City area who never had the chance to really kind of look into Cincinnati's program as deeply as some of us. And he was like, man, I have been blown away by what Katrina Merriweather has said, what she said here throughout Big 12 Media Days. Wes Miller the same way. Like, man, he had a lot of praise for the Bearcats coaching staff. And I mean, Katrina was awesome, as always. A lot of good content. We have about 18 minutes worth of content from Katrina Merriweather and her breakout sessions that we have uploaded on this site for you guys. So Bearcats fans, check that out. We also have exclusive interviews with Jillian Hayes, Braylon Milton, and Maya Jackson from Big 12 Media Days.
Yep.
So yeah, continue to rock with the YouTube channel and definitely go show support for Katrina Merriweather and the Bearcats program. I mean, they have a big game ahead of them, season opener. I mean, it's never easy kicking off the season with a nationally ranked powerhouse in Louisville, but overall, I mean, Katrina Merriweather and staff are doing a fantastic job here at the University of Cincinnati. And I mean, those who have followed the program this offseason and what it's been like in her transition to come home. I mean, if you guys also want quotes and all that kind of stuff, I posted a lot of good stuff from them throughout this week as well. I'll also be writing a story on it. But yeah, for real, just go check out all of our YouTube channels, get all the men's content, and really go check out the content for the women's basketball team.
Yeah, for sure. Show the women some love. And I do like their Jordan uniforms. So like I talked about that too. Solo. I like them a lot. So I'm glad they were able to get their shine on too. They got their separate release, because I feel like if they would have the same release as the guys, nobody would have saw them. People were kind of like, oh, these blah blah blah, but I like them a lot. Like them, not even like them. I like them a lot. So I'm glad they were able to get their shine on. They're going to be able to get their gear. So that's dope. Playing in a legit women's conference too. Women's basketball, as you know, is taking off. It's getting more eyes. I think you got somebody like Katrina who is embracing that and who is running with the ball and is a known winner. You know what I mean? So I think that's going to be huge for the program. And she is UC basketball. So it's one of those things, like she's inbred there. She went other places to cut her teeth, but now she's here. You know, she graduated from UC. So it's kind of one of those things where as the women don't get as many looks as the men's basketball team, show them some love, man, because they're gonna be playing some legit teams too.
And I mean, we're talking about a women's team. I mean, if you look down at their non-conference schedule, I mean, I think it's 5 games versus nationally ranked opponents or NCAA tournaments for a season ago. So I mean,
check
they're
them
bringing
out.
in some competition. And I mean, you kick off the season versus Louisville, who's ranked, I believe, like 14th in the country right now.
So yeah,
Toledo won the MAC last season.
Yeah,
you have the Paradise Jam, which features Kentucky, national powerhouse. You have Colorado, national powerhouse. So I mean, there's 4 right there. So I mean, yeah, definitely have to show support for the women's basketball team here at the University of Cincinnati. I mean, for people who haven't really had the chance to listen to what Katrina Merriweather has had to say, I mean, the decision to return home, the whole just the opportunity in itself. I think one quote that won a lot of people over yesterday was she said it wasn't only important for her to make that decision to come home, but something that's going to stick with her more and what she's thriving to do is she knows what's at stake coming home. She knows that all eyes are on her, but for her, most importantly, she's wanting to succeed here. And I think that's what she's really emphasizing. I mean, the staff is awesome. We talk about the staff. I mean, you feel what Katrina Merriweather and her staff are all about. I mean, the players really emphasized on how they are always so caring, upfront, supportive of these young women and what they are doing on and off the court. And I mean, you can sense that with her whole staff. I mean, we see them, we interact with them quite often. I mean, this is a staff. JT can even attest to this. This is a staff that travels together wherever they go. So, I mean, you can sense the importantness and the togetherness of what this staff has. And I mean, this has been a fantastic start to the offseason, and it's going to be a fantastic season for them in the Big 12. I mean, obviously, we talk on women's basketball. They have a fan fest this Sunday. So if you guys really want to get a better look at the Bearcats women's basketball team, hit up Fifth Third this Sunday, and you can get a better look. It's kind of like an open practice kind of thing. So really head on out to Fifth Third on Sunday and really support the women's basketball team as well.
For sure. So that's how we'll end it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. A lot of good content. We continue to have a lot of good content, free content. So tell a friend to subscribe to the Front Office News. All right, that's how we're going to end it. JT Smith and my man Neil Meyer. Thanks for Neil popping in on the road, and my guy Dan Sellers popping in too. So we're able to hit two birds with one stone, as the older folks say. And that's how we're gonna sign off, y'all. Y'all have a good one.